You can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah, I really like Smash 4.
You don't. You
yes,
don't.
I do.
Don't.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You really don't.
I do though.
We're gonna do this a lot for at least an hour, so you better be prepared for this.
Okay,
fucker.
that's a disagreement for another time. Even though I will probably in 3 months have my own video, I played Smash 4 for 50 hours. Here's what I finally recollected.
I was there. You didn't even play it for 50 hours. It was like 3.
I play it at home.
Fuck, right. No, I forgot you do nothing else.
It's okay. But, finally, it is me, Software Neos.
This is Astro. Hello. This is probably, hopefully this isn't the last time you'll hear from me.
We've been friends for a long time.
10 years.
Oh my God.
Officially has been 10 years. Especially now that it's November. Yeah.
And
great.
now we do this shit. We talk about fighting games now. Can you imagine the dream?
This is the goals. These are the goals. And these are the games we play, unfortunately.
But what are we going to talk about, Astro?
I mean, this, like I just said, these are in fact the games we play, unfortunately. And one of the unfortunate things of playing fighting games is dealing with patch culture.
Yeah.
And oh boy, some communities are really, really, really obnoxious.
So much so that you would say that, like, the FGC community can be Crybabies title?
Oh, hell yeah. Y'all a bunch of wimps and sissies. Fuck out of here. I swear I said it. I said it. Someone had to fucking say it. Jesus Christ.
I hate it because it's like, it's going to be on my channel. And I didn't say that, and I'm going to get the smoke.
Oh, hell yeah.
I play Blaze Blue. They're going to give me the smoke now.
Let's go.
All of them play Strive. They hate me.
And they should feel bad for playing Strive. No.
Why are we already on the wrong foot?
I think I'm on the right foot. No. I think
we're on the right side.
I'm on the right side of history. I'm on the wrong. They're on the wrong side of history.
Oh. So, when we talk about this, I guess what we should talk about is patch notes culture first before we get into it.
Yeah.
So there's kind of like, of course, like, this is just fighting games in general. So of course, there's many people that have different designs for fighting games and how they should be patched.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you can disagree or agree, but I'm pretty sure we talked about that. Like, there's a spectrum, but there's two ends of the scale.
Yeah, I think like patch notes in general, they feel like a pendulum, and so to speak, because when they do swing, there are two opposite sides of this argument, and there's always gonna be examples of both sides of the argument. Like, and here you have one side of the argument where it's like, don't patch the game, we don't need patches, stop being a bitch, stop being a wimp. Just figure out the matchup, learn the matchup, or pick the top tier. Pick the fucking top tier. That's really, like, sometimes it's like, that's all you really can do in those moments. And then there's the opposite side of the spectrum, where you get too many damn patch notes. There's barely enough time to, like, figure out a main, because you could be playing Katana today, and then 2 days from now, she could be nerfed. And now, all of a sudden, she is worthless. And I'm actually still mad about that, but I'm going to talk about that later. Because that actually happened to me in MK. I was sick to my stomach.
It's not a fighting game touche, but I'm pretty sure League does that a lot, too.
Yeah, so League has that issue in of itself as well. And I guess even in a MOBA sense, like, Overwatch and Smite would be on the side of, we don't patch our games that much, or don't patch them at all. Versus, or even TF2, like how you play TF2 and it rarely, if ever, gets patches, and you'll be lucky if you ever get one, so you just play what you can play, right? Like, but then on the other side of League of Legends, we get a new meta every year, so the season changes every year, and then something big changes with the season, changes every year, and then on top of that, we get patch notes every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Like, your favorite character could be on the chopping block tomorrow, or it can get giga buffed and now everyone's banning it. And it could all just happen in a matter of days.
Okay.
And there is, like, good and bad to that. But, like, you know, it all depends.
Well, I actually, because I know you talked about it, like, Melee and MVC3, like, you know, the people that believe it's like, well, we're not going to patch a game, right?
Yeah.
So, I just want to talk about that a little bit. Not the fact that you're wrong for it, that anyone's wrong for thinking it, but just, like, the sort of contention that I have for it. Because, like, my thing is that, like, for the people that say, like, we've been in the trenches for, like, playing this fighting game, like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and, like, Melee, right? The thing is that they didn't have a choice. Like, if Melee and Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was today, I'm pretty sure most people would be like, yo, why aren't you patching this game? Like, even the most stringiest of people would be like, why aren't you patching this game? Although it, again, for contention, it's very weird because you couldn't, like, patch Melee, right? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure if, like, we saw Frame 1 shine now, it probably would be like, nah, we gotta change this. There's something wrong.
It gotta go, like, ASAP, like, right now.
Yeah.
Like, that would not slide at all.
But I guess the counterpoint is just, like, a lot of these oldish games are already, like, broken as hell, and I don't mean like
Melee.
Yeah, like
that game fucking
like every single year, because Melee is so like broken. Like, you see tech for anything. Like, I'm pretty sure like 3 years ago there was like a tech with Mark where you can like hit your head on the stage, and like it wasn't discovered until then.
It wasn't until recently.
Yeah, until recently where you can.
And a lot of shit happens like that often. Like, they discovered Yoshi as a character like 3 years ago thanks to Hamza. It was like this was like what was it called when we learned in history, like the trading system, like the salt trading system where they're trading herbs and spices. Like Japan came over here and there's like, what do we have for Japan? There was like, oh, we got League of Legends, we got Smite. We're discovering this new game, Overwatch. I think you guys are really like Overwatch. Maybe you guys will break this game and then we'll never be able to win a world championship ever again. And then we're like, hey, what did you bring, Japan? There was like, we have made a new discovery. We have discovered that in Super Smash Bros. Melee, that Yoshi is a playable character.
All right, so I think what we should be doing is just, for no patches versus too many patches, let's go on like the positive and negative and like the sort of caveats between it, right?
Yeah.
So for no patches, I think there's like 3 games we could probably talk about when it comes to this. So it's like Melee, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, anything else? No?
Is there a third game in particular? I mean, if you want to bring it up, you've been dabbling into it, but technically Central Fiction is a game that doesn't get patched anymore because they're still under the Japanese format where it's like they don't do updates. They just give you a new game. So
I talked a bit about that in my Steve video, that it's like people didn't get patches technically. It was just a new game.
You got a brand new game.
It's like why Street Fighter 2 had like Super Deluxe EX Virgil.
Even as something as like the earliest examples would be Street Fighter 4, where it was like they didn't have patches. You just had to buy Ultra Street Fighter 4, and then now Akuma's nerf.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you have to play on Ultra Street Fighter 4. You have to buy it.
Pretty much.
So I guess the 3 best examples would be Central Fiction, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Super Smash Bros. Melee.
So for Melee, my thing is that the positive... My problem with giving positive to Melee is just that the fact that the engine is so broken that you can just make a lot of like different tech options because it's so broken, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to use it as an example, but because of that caveat, it makes it so like, sure, you can grind out the game, but that's because like new techniques come out every single other year. So it's like, that's my caveat. I find this more of a good point with like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Because those guys couldn't put in patch notes for some reason. Like, they wanted to, but they just couldn't. So people just had to play the game. So I guess the positive of it is that, like, unlike getting too many patches, you don't have to just like, yo, fuck this, I'm not going to play this character anymore. Like, you just play it, and I guess you just do it.
I think that's not necessarily a good... I mean, it is a good point, but I think we should give that credit to the community in and of themselves. Because, fun fact about Melee, there is a patched version of Melee out there.
That was for the EU?
For the UK. So the UK got Melee 6 months after, and then 6 months after the game came out, they had nerfed all the top tiers, and then they gave mini tiny buffs to the low tiers. Technically, in this day and age right now, we can play on that patch, and we have been able to for years. But if you ask every single person who loves Melee to death, the first thing they tell you when you ask them, hey, why don't you just play on this? You hate Spacies, you hate Spacey meta. You guys didn't want to go to the 20XX route. Why do you guys keep playing on this patch when you can play on the new one? And it's like, it's not Melee. It's not the Melee they grew up with. And they just love the game so much, and they enjoy this game so much, that, like, it doesn't matter to them. And then, like, with Melee in and of itself, a little bit of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but, like, Melee is a big factor of this. And it's like, how does a game get patched, but your meta changes over time? Like, and you just keep figuring stuff out. Things just keep happening over time because people play this game so much and they have so much knowledge about this game that, like, breakthroughs just happen. One of the big examples was as recent as, well, I don't know, was it last year? I think it was Big House, where when freaking Mango won the Marth matchup with Fox on FD. And, like, if you ask someone that 3 years ago, people would tell you it was a 9-1 matchup in Marth's favor. Guaranteed. You're getting slopped. Like, you're getting dicked down.
To be fair, and this isn't contention, right? To be fair, I think Melee is actually underrated with its top tiers because, like, in other fighting games, like, and we're bringing up with Strive later, right?
Yeah.
But in Melee, most of, like, the top tiers, like Fox, like Martha and all them, like, you can still do, like, moves or your own gimmick against them and still get, like, success compared to, like, Strive and, like, other games like that where it's, like, trying to do your own moves against this certain guy just either, like, doesn't work. Yeah. So it's like, or the top tiers have enough weaknesses that you can actually do your own playstyle of it. Like Fox, of course, he's, like, the best when it turns to, like, movement and stuff like that.
But fast faller.
Yeah, fast faller. As soon as he gets hit, it's like,
they're taking a lot of damage.
But with, like, something like Strive, right? The problem is that, like, because of the funneled function of everything and because everything is so simple, now it's like, well, these characters don't really have weaknesses in order to really defeat, and it's just like, I have the better buttons than you, so it's just like, well, fuck you then.
Hey, sounds familiar, doesn't it?
What you mean?
Hey, you know about that certain metallical fucker that is not allowed in these parts in the game from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Okay, so you and me, I can't believe we agree with this, but I've seen Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I will assure you, you can keep Virgil, you can keep X Factor. Just get rid of Zero.
You really just gotta get rid of that.
Just get rid of Zero.
I swear to God, how do people play that game and are happy?
I don't
with that game.
I don't think they are.
Like, you know, like, you have to be. Look how many people were so excited for Evo, and guess what happened? Top 4 was just Zero May Cry. Just Zero May Cry. The top 4 was Zero May Cry.
I guess that's one of, like, the bad things to, like, no patches ever, because it's just like,
when a character's top tier, you gotta deal with that bullshit.
Well, when a character is top tier and not and also boring as shit and maniacal as shit, and there's nothing you just gotta play it. You just gotta hit that snapback, buddy. At least, like, and people will probably be like, yo, Phoenix exists. What do you mean? At least you can snap back Phoenix and hit him with an overhead, and then she's done.
Here's the fun part about Phoenix, right? Remember the first point we just made about how Melee comes up with nuances? I just showed you the Dark Phoenix tech not too long ago.
Yeah.
That, like, you can force the Phoenix to go into Dark Phoenix mode, and you could checkmate them.
With a 50-50.
No, it's not a 50-50. It's a checkmate.
Oh.
It's a checkmate. So as soon as they go into Dark Phoenix form, that's it. They lost.
Yeah, with Big Hand. Big Hand! What's his name? What's his super?
Spencer.
Yeah.
So Spencer's...
Bionic! Oh! That shit is
great.
Why is he in Infinite?
Let's go! He's the only cool thing in an Infinite.
Listen. He can be an Infinite. Make it an assist.
Oh,
that'd be hype.
That would be hype, but also no. Why is Zero an Infinite? They didn't learn from their mistakes in 3. Fucking bastards. Anyways, yeah.
So since we talked about like positive and negative for nothing, let's go with too much. This is your time, pal. It's time to talk about Mortal Kombat. You have the floor, sir.
Well, here I go. Okay. So remember that little story I was talking about earlier about how I was just a little bit annoyed with Mortal Kombat 11. So when Mortal Kombat 11 came out, I was so excited. I bought the deluxe edition. I bought the DLC. I bought everything. I bought the costumes. I was just so excited for that game. Now that game wasn't as all that it was cracked up to be in the beginning, but you know what? I had a lot of fun. Especially playing Sonya and Cassie. Sonya, understandably so, was very, very, very broken. Not broken, but very, very strong in the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
40 to 50% combos with no meter, built-in 50-50s, high-low mix-ups, and a command grab, and an air command grab that leads to, like, at least 40%. It was just like, it was not fair. And on top of that, like, Breakaway was just a thing. Like there was just too many things in her favor. You know what I mean? So understandably so, they nerfed her. Cool. Got you. Fine. Cool. A lot of the Sonya players were understandably was like, you know what? Fair enough. We understood. The character's broken as shit. We love playing it, but you know what? It's fine. Then they nerfed her again, and it was like, wait, hold on. Like, she's not even that good anymore. And then they nerfed her a third time, and it was like, okay, well, now she's not playable, so I guess we'll play Cassie. And then, like, a month later, they nerfed Cassie. Cassie wasn't even that great. Like, she was a high-tier character at best. And she had all the things that Sonya had, just on a smaller scale.
Yeah, so you explained it to me that it was like the functions that Cassie had. It was just in a smaller scale. So because of that,
wasn't as oppressive.
Yeah, so because of that fragment of oh, it reminds me of this, they pulled the plug.
I guess so. I don't know. Maybe NRS, like, maybe the NRS community had like PTSD or something, or like whatever the case may be. Maybe they got spooked or whatever. But like Sonya, like the NRS community complaining about Sonya in that time frame, cool, understandable. Cassie, it felt like we were just bitching about Cassie because we didn't want to deal with the Sonya problem. But it wasn't a Sonya problem. It wasn't a problem at all, actually.
It actually reminds me a lot of the Killer Instinct nerf from there. So like Jago, right? Mm-hmm. Jago apparently had the mechanic where he popped Instinct, he attacked you and he healed, right? Mm-hmm. People thought that the problem was that of the healing, that it healed too much when he attacked. But the Killer Instinct people didn't nerf the healing. What they did is that they nerfed every single surrounding move to make them a little more minus. So what happened is that that community went ballistic when they saw those nerfs, because it's like, this is not the one that we wanted. Just for them to know a month later that it was probably the good call, because he can't do neutral and because he doesn't have the best overheads like he did before, he can't heal as much anyway because he's not winning these trades. So it's like, doing that actually kind of like helped the community out, and they did not know. And the fact that like the listening to the community actually would have legitimately made a character worse is probably similar to your experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, and this is like, there are certain instances like that, and there are some times where like it is too late, and like a character's just gutted, and it's just not fair. It's not fair to certain characters. It's like, I'm trying to think of like an example off the top of my head, another example off the top of my head where it's similar to that Killer Instinct example, where it's like you nerf the things that you shouldn't have, and now this character's unplayable. I guess you could kind of say like, well, I would say like Birdie from Street Fighter V, where it's like, okay, the first few nerfs were understandable, and then there were just certain moments where it's like, we are nerfing this character, and he's not even that big of a problem.
And the complete opposite end of the spectrum was just like Smash 4 in general.
Smash 4 is probably Smash 4 is
actually even Ultimate now, because it's like in Ultimate it's like, hey Sakura, what are you gonna do for Donkey Kong? I'm gonna make his forward tilt go a little farther, and I'm like, wow, man, this did a lot.
That was so
I'm definitely not in disadvantage all the time still.
But like, it was not what we needed at
in
all.
Smash 4, the Greninja. Why did he get nerfed so many times?
So we talked about that. It was so funny how you guys have the Greninja meme, and in the League community, we have the Irelia meme, where it's like, shit, the top tiers are really running rampant. What's that? Greninja's not a top tier? Hey, yo, nerf that motherfucker anyways, because I'm tired of seeing that nigga in my
Because I don't like his kids.
I don't like his kids. I don't like his colors. I don't like that fit. That nigga has a tongue rolling around his neck. He's a munch for real. Anyways... what are we talking about, Bayonetta? Oh, no, she's perfectly fine. Goddess, amazing, beautiful. Never touch her, ever. Please, don't, ever. No.
Never.
Cool, I guess. But Greninja got nerfed 5 times in a row. Cool, guys.
It's very weird, because it's like, for certain things, it would really fuck a lot of things up if we had a lot of, like, nerfs versus buffs. Like, I understand, like, now, like, if Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had, like, buffs and nerfs, we definitely would, like, have nerfed Virgil. We would have, like, nerfed Dante. Like, what's that move? What's that move, my guy?
What?
Dante's move that you fucking...
Oh, jam session!
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker playing Guitar Hero on your dome piece.
That low-looking overhead, yeah.
That shit covers the
like
entire
certain
screen.
things, like certain things like that. It would probably be like, all right, we would probably like make it a little better, like make it a little worse, you know. But then it would come to decision like yours with MK, where it's like, because we want to hear the community so bad, we'll take even the bad ideas.
Yeah. And it's like, and it feels like it's an echo chamber, because if the bad ideas do get through the echo chamber and it's amplified, even if it's the wrong decision, people will still like they'll get on it, and it's like, okay, now
especially
it's
top tier players.
Especially
you know how many top tier players go to Twitter and just salty tweet
and just like and again, at the end of the day, neither of us has topped an event ever.
No.
At the same time, we haven't been playing nearly as much as these guys, but like, dude, like, I do not want to I don't even want to like follow or watch MK content, because every MK content creator that isn't winning is just complaining the whole time, and it's just, it's like, it's
when you can be chads like us and just play the what's the old man assist?
Play the old man assist. Oh yeah, Shinjuku. I forgot his name, but it's like, I think it's not Shinjuku.
Shijenko.
Yeah, Shijenko. Just play Shijenko.
You can just be a Chad and play Shijenko.
Hey, you get.
I mean, he's not as good, but fuck, it's so fun. He's so plus on everything.
He is kind of fucked up, I'm not gonna lie.
Because he's plus on everything.
He's
better than you.
He's plus on everything, but it's like the fact that like he can just take any random special, and some of those specials that he gets Geras as time stop. I don't care what nobody says. I do not want to fight Johnny Cage with Geras time stop. I don't. I really don't. So like, imagine you have to face that.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like Ivan Ooze. Like, we were talking about it before, but like Ivan Ooze has always been like the epitome of like, all right, Ivan Ooze, of course not, but everything else should be fine because it's not Ivan Ooze. But the problem that I have is and we talked about it before, like, I think it's just dependent on the game. Because, you know, Strive, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things were taken from Strive. Like, a lot of people missed a lot of their moves. A lot of people, like, got rid of a lot of their tech, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, and we funneled it to be a lot more simple, the person that likes these simple tools, so bad guy, of course dominated, especially since Strive, you know, increased the damage. So even though, you know, beforehand, Soul Bad Guy was, like, broken, a lot of people were just like, well, it's not the same as Ivan Ooze, so it's fine. It's like, no, you should look at it, like, as context. What it is, because Marvel vs. Capcom, you get happy birthday for shit. But in here, that doesn't happen. It just depends on the game. You can't say that, oh, Ivan Ooze is the pinnacle. If you go lesser than that, you're just a baby.
We also had that issue too, and I didn't bring it up earlier, but I wanted to definitely bring it up now. We have that same issue in the Smash community, because how many times do you hear, well, he's not Brawl Meta Knight, so let's just figure it out.
What, are you talking about Steve?
I'm talking about like Steve, Bayo, like anytime like.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. It's like we did have a lot of arguments where it's like, oh yeah, well, is it
Brawl Meta Knight bad? No, then deal with it. Is it Smash 4 Bayo? No, it's not that bad. Then
it's funny how like they always change arguments where it's like, well, is it Meta Knight bad? And as soon as you went to the next game at Ultimate, is Steve Bayo bad?
Was it like Steve Bayo bad, or is it? No, it's usually the opposite. First they'll be like, hey, like, it's Bayo bad, but it's not Meta Knight bad. And then they'll be like, fuck, now it's Meta Knight bad. Now we should do something. But then at the same time, it's like, bro, like context is everything.
Yeah.
Like, context really can
help. I talked about this in my own Steve video. Like, legitimately, block just does too much. What do you mean that block? You can literally block under and you can't get back on stage. That's a melee mechanic. It's on a character specifically. And that's just one thing.
Free, and you're the only one that can ledge hold.
Also,
so it's not like,
nobody talks about this. Block has a lot of strength. Like, you can't just hit it with like a tilt and they go away.
Yeah,
they just
depending on what materials
and then
they
you
use.
can make it better.
Yeah,
and then you can make it better.
Because the iron block is really hard to hit. So then in a lot of ultimate matchups, here's how a Steve matchup looks on paper and at face value. Because from someone who is a commentator, like at face value, the Steve matchup feels like, okay, first of all, can you rush down Steve? okay, you can. Now, the Steve will camp you, and he will put up blocks. Do you have the means to deal with it? If so, congratulations, you may go even with Steve. Maybe. Like, but then there's some characters where it's like, they have no way to deal with blocks. It's like, okay, well, I just get fucked. Because you will just sit there in mine until you get diamonds.
I think what's also the problem is that, like, and again, it's like, finally we're talking about, like, it doesn't matter that they're not Ivan Ooze level. Like, it matters in their own game.
Yeah.
My also big problem with Steve was just the fact that, again, a lot of other characters can camp, right? Samus and Sonic. But the problem is that they're camping in place. When Steve is camping, he is not only moving, but he's gathering resources. Imagine Sonic just stayed there, he spin dash, and then like after 10 seconds he could turn into like Super Sonic and he gets a new form. That's exactly what Steve is.
That's low-key.
And then he has movement as well. And it's just like, fuck, man. This is why I do not get people that use the Ivan Ooze argument of like, if it's not at least this broken character, then you shouldn't do anything about it. And I'm like, nah, man, nah.
There's like it's always context for everything. It's like if we talk about like how we talked about Strive, or like how we talked about like So Bad Guy from Strive. It's like, okay, So Bad Guy is strong in that game because the game was simplified and it came to a conclusion that you don't need too many things to win in that game.
And because he doesn't need that many tools,
yeah,
he just gets one hit.
Exactly.
Then...
It also doesn't help that like he is a complete character. He has all the tools, and that's not something you can say about other characters in that game.
About the blonde ape man and everyone,
or Happy Chaos, who literally instead of not only did Happy Chaos pulled up with all the tools, he pulled up with more tools in his backpack. And started playing unfair.
The Blicky.
He's just like, he really pulled up with the fucking Mickey Mouse Cthulhu and just said that like, hey, we're gonna play by my rules now, right? And then everyone's like, no. And he's like, and he shot up in the air.
Like, I know Sajam has talked about it before that like, listen, chat room, there's a lot of things that you can do with this character, okay? There's a lot of things you can do. You can hit him with lows and things like that. But you see, I don't think that's my problem with Happy Chaos. I think it's like the Steve situation where it's mechanically broken. Like, it's like Samus, right? Samus is a zoner. Like, yes, you can play in Rush Hour, but that's her purpose, to be a zoner, right? Why does she have an up B? That's basically a DP if I go in at you. So you're a zoner, and you have your own tool that can keep me away and is better than most of my moves. That's mechanically broken. Even if there are ways that you can deal with it, it is mechanically broken and really, really, like, stupid to deal with.
I think that's definitely an example in of itself, but like maybe a smaller kind of example.
Oh yeah, it's very small.
It's a very
I'm just saying, like, it does not look like Happy Chaos mechanically is fair.
Yeah. And it's like with the Samus example, it's like it's less about her breaking the rules of the game, but breaking the rules of her archetype.
Yeah.
But like there is a certain characters where it's like everyone else is playing by the same rules except this one nigga. Like he's the only one that gets to change the rules whenever he wants to, but everyone else has to play by the rules. It's like, or it also does work on the other side of the spectrum. For perfect example, we brought it back to Marvel vs. Capcom. Every character in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, if you have a command grab super, you have invincibility frames frame 1.
Except,
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Nemesis is the only character in the entire game that has a command grab super, and it's not invincible.
And
so
that
you can hit him
a lot.
It matters a lot.
And that matters a lot because, like, his normals are okay.
They're okay.
Like, they're okay, but then you'll be like, I'll just pick Thor.
What is the point of playing Nemesis? Your level 3 super it doesn't reach that far to begin with, and on top of that, it's literally the worst command grab in the game because it doesn't have invincibility frames, and you're the only one that has that rule applied to you, and it's like, how is like. I don't want to play Nemesis anymore. You can literally pick any other grappler.
And I guess to bring it back, we've been talking about like mechanical bases and things like that, but like these little problems that we have, I don't think it's like people being like, I would say, how do I put this? Like, you know Street Fighter V, right?
Yes.
That is a very neutral heavy like +6, like numbers game.
Crouching medium.
Yeah,
kick
like
game.
some like
Crouching medium.
like
kick
I've
game.
heard some patches about you guys, and apparently like making something like -2 can gut a character sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
so that where it makes sense, right? The other reason it makes sense is like, you know, a lot of the things that we're talking about is that they're mechanically unwell. I'm not saying that this jab does more than me. I'm saying that your entire character doesn't make any sense.
Because
especially since I'm playing on a good footing and you aren't.
Yes.
So it doesn't really seem like I feel like the next point that we got to talk about is like, when is complaining too bad? Okay, so I guess what we have to talk about is what is actually being a crybaby in fighting games. Because we've talked about mechanical designs and how like that kind of makes sense for being complaints. Mm-hmm. What is the times where it's just like, nah, you're just wrong, dog. Come on. Like, you got an example?
Like, okay, so I brought it up earlier with the whole Cassie K situation because I've actually had like fights and debates about that, like when it came out, and I was just like,
I can't wait for the one Mortal Kombat player to go in the comments.
And it was just like, okay, like all the points you're telling me are mundane, and I can guarantee you I can find a character that does it better. So why are we televisioning on Cassidy? Another perfect example was a recent thing that happened on, like, you brought up Sajam earlier. This happened on Sajam's stream, and I was in there live. It was so funny.
You were live?
I was live. It was hilarious, actually. But he basically, Sajam was going over like tech in Street Fighter 6, and he was even taking questions and suggestions from chat room. Like, hey, if there's one thing you want to learn about in fighting games, I will teach it to you right now. You want to learn about blocking? Okay, we will sit in training mode, and I will teach you how to block and everything like that. So Hotashi,
I want someone like that in the fighting community.
That would be so good. Yeah, that'd be so good though. But like Hotashi, definitely a well-renowned player in the XR community who plays Marissa in Street Fighter 6. Yes. He brought up how that Juri's crouching medium kick is still broken. It's still one of the most oppressive things in the entire game, and it just straight up wins neutral for all Juri players. But then when Sajam looked at the videos and we were going over the replays, first of all, crouching medium kick was only pressed like 3 times in that entire match, and it didn't lead to really anything except maybe a short combo into the drive meter or the Fuka gauge that thing has. And the whole time he's like, "Look, see, crouching medium kick won him the game," and Satan just like, "Dude, you don't want me to tell you." Like, first of all,
he should probably worked on his feints,
like,
and a lot of neutral,
and maybe not mashing like a medium punch when you're -3 on block. Like, I don't know.
Like it would be a different argument if it would be like, I wish it wasn't too ambiguous when she does like the high kick. Like, you know how she stores a kick and then it can either be and then it can be a low or a high.
Yeah.
Like that I could understand. Like it's a little fucked up, but like there's ways.
It's not even that.
Yeah, but it's a little fucked up. You know, not too much. It's annoying. It's annoying. Yes.
But it's like there is counterplay around it. Also, just in general, it's like Hotachi. He's a great guy. He's definitely a great player. But like,
made a new video. I will link it.
Like, honestly, and he definitely makes a lot of good points, and he's definitely one of the good players in XR. He's really great.
But he was just wrong.
He was just simply wrong, and it makes you look even worse that you're a Marissa player, and Marissa does get shit on by low pokes.
Hey, at least he took it on the chin and he uploaded it.
Yeah,
at least he took it on the chin.
That's major respect, and I respect that. Like, to the end of the time, and it's like there's a lot of examples.
Now it's just funny.
Yeah, now it's just funny. It's like, but there is a lot of examples of that where it's like people do not want to see. Like, okay, I get it. It's annoying. I really understand. But like, dog, don't you think you're just a little upset?
Like, maybe we should probably improve.
Maybe we should think about this a
little
bit more.
Like again, our examples is like like the Samus thing, right? Yeah. There are ways that you can improve yourself so you don't get hit by up B. Obviously, top 100 people is probably not even going to be affected by this because barely anyone play it. But the problem is that mechanically, it's just stupid.
Yeah, for an archetype, that should not be possible.
Yeah,
and it's not.
For something like this, it's more of like, all right, so now I gotta hunker down. I gotta try to out neutral him. I'm gonna use some feints, and then maybe that's more so things that are not only things you can do, but they're also fair. Like you should be doing it anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think for like the Samus thing that you should be not only do I need to focus on getting in, I also need to focus on what happen on like a recourse if I get in, because you should have like bad DI. So I guess that's the thing. But you said the opposite version, and that's Dragon Ball Fighters. You want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, for sure. So like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like Dragon Ball players don't complain. There is complaining, and there is criticism.
To be fair,
it's very valid.
It's kind of valid.
It's like
those last two characters, Goku and
Ultra Instinct Goku, and then Lab Coat 21 were really some oppression. Like,
I think there were people saying slurs for GT Goku.
Yo, that should have been here in New York. Oh my God, they called him everything under the sun.
Rat.
We dubbed him Rat just because that nigga was too small to hit. But at the same time, even during like peak GT Goku era, the Kill Sage really got up on Yipe's podcast and was like, yo, just figure that shit out, bro. Like, we're not getting the patch. Just stop being a bitch about it and just figure it out. And to be fair, a lot of the people in the community hunkered down and either came up with tech or they just started playing GT Goku.
My problem is just that it's the same problem that we've been talking about. Mechanically, that Goku had too many defensive options compared to everyone else. Yeah. So it's like, we're not playing the same game.
No, we're not at all.
So it's like, I get it, Yipes. It's like we want to hunker down and play in the game, but it's like,
it is very frustrating when like your favorite characters are following the rules of Dragon Ball Fighters, and then here comes this motherfucker who paid $5.99 and he gets to break the rules.
And then, we've already put the pin on that Goku, but I think even Yipes was just like, all right, what the fuck we doing when that android came in?
Yo, yeah, no, everyone kind of agreed to like, yo, dog, like, we gotta ban Lab Coke 21. Well, another example.
Not only were some of her moves so good, but like the super to like make them null.
You reduce my damage
and it's
permanently.
So it's not even just that. People were so scummy that it was just like, I'm just gonna snap you back and just do it on you. I'm gonna do it on 3 of your characters, so now it doesn't matter what you do.
So it was basically a checkmate. Like, you were guaranteed to lose that round.
Even losing 2 characters.
Statistically
what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Energy burst? Wow, I'm gonna get my regular damage back.
Exactly. Like, even when you sparked, you just went back to neutral damage. You didn't get the damage increase. So it basically nullified Spark. So that's even fucked up in of itself. It basically nullified Spark, and it's just like, there's another more ambiguous things that are also bad with it too, because she had six different low pokes.
Oh my God. I hope you know that you on Twitter with Android 21 and you seeing the memes, oh my God, they were so good. I think you showed me a thing where it's just like a video being like, it's this amount of time. It's reactable.
Yeah, it's definitely reactable.
Reactable. You gotta show me that.
Yeah, I gotta show you that. So hopefully we can get that shit and we can edit that shit in. But it was basically, he was saying, it was like, yo, yeah, so she has 6 low pokes and then she has an overhead, right? She has an overhead. Granted, the overhead is slow. So the guy on Twitter was like, the overhead is super reactable. It's perfectly fine. So then the guy took a screenshot of the startup frames of the overhead, and it was like, well, to tell you the truth, if you really do play Dragon Ball Fighters, you would know that this animation looks very similar to the command grab. So I will ask you now, did you get command grabbed or did you get hit with the overhead? And he was like, oh yeah, simple, it's command grab every time. I said, oops, sorry, you got hit with a low. She just sparked, you just lost your character. And it's like, you can't tell. Stop pretending like you can. You can't. They look the same. Why does the command grab look the same as the overhead? And on top of that, why is the command grab that fast if that's the case?
This is why listening to top players versus non-top players is a very weird discussion. Because sometimes top players know what they're doing, and then sometimes it's like the seemingly lowly scrub that's just like, no, man, this you got hit by that. If I got hit by it, you got hit by it.
Like, you just have to accept it. You just have to accept it. Like, I don't know what world you live in, like, where you think that you're like, I'm definitely reacting to that. I'm definitely teching that throw. Like, no, you're not. Like, you're not. Like Like, I hear that a lot, too, where it's like
I
damn,
tech the throw.
Like, I tech the throw, and it's like, really? You would tech the throw in front of 30,000 people in the middle of EVO, grand finals, $1 million on the line? You're teching that throw? Buddy, you have 3 people circling around and telling you you're trash, and you still couldn't tech the throw. You think you can handle 30,000 people yelling at you?
Thank you, Daigo.
All right, cool.
Thank you for existing.
Come on, like we always do that a lot. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I get hit. I'll get hit half the time. That's just something that I gotta fix.
The only reason why I don't get hit in other fighting games like Blaze Root Cross Tag is because like y'all just want to get in, and I'm just too afraid to do anything. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna block. I'll do safe jumps. And then we gonna pop off, I guess.
We gonna figure it out, I guess.
But then you play Susanoo, so you're just like, if you think I'm standing here, you're wrong.
Like, no, absolutely. But it's like, there's a lot of nuances when it comes to it, too. It's like there's, like, in that game, too, it's like, in BB Tag, and I guess in a lot of the games, too, it's like, there are some times where it's like, in those scenarios, at least, it's like, you can't block forever. And if you are blocking forever, there's just too much mental stacking on top of that. Like we just explained with Latko 21 in her prime day, it's okay that you got hit. This character's fucked up, and you have a lot of things you got to worry about at once. It's okay you got hit with the overhead because you've been blocking for 30 seconds. You have to worry about 6 different lows. You have to worry about the assist coming across. So if they do call an assist, you might have to guess left or right. Then on top of that, you have to worry about the overhead, and you have to worry about the command grab. That's like so much shit you have to worry about. By the time you've acknowledged what he's going to do, you probably already got hit. Like, you already got hit. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Before you even acknowledge that he jumped over you, you got hit with a cross-up. You didn't even recognize that he jumped yet. Cross-up. Congratulations, you just lost a character. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, how I didn't even know he could even cross me over. And even if you do block sometimes, congratulations, we have EX Slicer. So even if you try to take your turn back, you're not getting it. Fuck you. Shake my hand now. You just lost a character? Shake my hand.
I'm shaking his
hand. All right, shake my hand. Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me Labco 21. I am now a rich man.
I'm now gonna get sucked off in the Oval Office.
Yeah. Like, it's just like, damn, man. It's just like, when you gotta worry about that much shit while you're blocking, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
You're gonna get hit. It, like, eventually.
I think so. We're getting to the point of the conclusion, and I think this is like the conclusion, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, for a lot of fighting games, there's 2 spectrums. Don't do it. Don't do it all. Do it too much. I think the only middle way that you can really go that everyone is okay, where it's like this. If it's mechanically unfair, we gotta do something about
fix
it.
That shit.
If it's something that can be solved with good neutral option, being a better player, it's probably okay. Like getting hit by Susanoo for 75. It's like there's something we can do about here. The mechanic is not as broken as something. When it's like mechanically bad,
like lab code, like
I don't know what's that game again, Isaac?
What?
Injustice?
Oh my God! Don't do that! All right, we'll be here for another 45 minutes.
You're right.
And I would just talk about Deadshot. Oh my God! Don't do that, D'Angelo.
How do people play that game? we won't talk about it. Okay, Scarecrow exists. He's cool.
Yes,
he's cool.
He has a command grab.
I wish he was in another game.
I really wish he would.
Why can't he be in another game?
He has such a cool design in that game.
I'm stealing that design.
Technically, League did with Fiddlesticks, if you really think about it. But we're not talking about that. So
I think what it comes down to is that, of course, we're not going to be in the era where there's no patches ever again. I don't think that's ever going to happen unless, like, the developers are just that batshit insane where it's just like, we're going to keep the competitive integrity. Fuck your buffs.
What integrity?
I don't know.
What integrity?
I don't know.
You can't look me in my eyes and say Mortal vs. Capcom has integrity.
When Zero exists. Put the clip up, editor.
Hey.
I'm the editor.
hey, put that shit up, mods. Let's go. Hurry up.
Alrighty, chat room. Did you you get hit by it, I sure as hell did. Give me those fucking subs, bitch.
I love how every time I have asked you that question, when I show you a Marvel clip, every time we are like, we got it. We got hit.
I got hit by that.
I don't even know what I'm seeing on the screen half the time.
Yo, when you always act that way when Dante throws the guitar.
Bro, that nigga does jam session and then suddenly it's a rave. It's just a rave party. It's like that nigga pulls up, does a guitar solo, and now suddenly there's 5.
You're gonna give me the clip, and it's just gonna be Zero inside jam session, and you can't see him.
You can't see him. Please, editor, please, mods, put up the clip, put up the screenshot. I want every single person in the comment section to tell me, can you see Zero? Because I sure as shit can't. I can't see where he's going, so I definitely got hit on the principle.
So this has been really fun, actually.
Yeah.
Over the conclusion, mechanically unfair, we should probably do something. If it's just a little annoying, we can do a little neutral options. I think it's fair.
And I think a general rule of thumb that we could go with is like maybe every 6 months, like the developers can just...
I think 6 months is pretty fair.
Yeah, like every 6 months the developers can just get on Reddit.
2 months is too much.
2 months is too much. Unless it's warranted.
I don't even care if like in Smash Ultimate that Ridley every 2 months was buffed. It's just too much.
It's too much. It's just like it's annoying.
I don't want to play another character every single time.
And that's how it feels like in certain games. Like you just have to pick a new You just have to pick a new character.
Yeah.
Every single patch, and then you fall into that mindset of you just got to pick the top tiers. Whatever top tier rolls around, hey, play it. But it's like. But then people will complain about that, and it's like, just don't we gotta give something. There's gotta be something.
Yeah, it's like
something's gotta give.
It's like marriage. Like you're not gonna get everything you want. You can't fuck hoes and also come home. You better get your ass in there.
Like
there are things that must be done.
Like you can't just have everything you could ever want, and then also complain about
there's gotta be some compromise.
There's gotta be some compromise, and it's just like, I know we've memed on the stand for like pick a top tier. Like realistically, bro.
Sometimes, honestly, yeah. Like I was a madman, so I always played Dr. Mario in Smash 4. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I did
you
well.
You played Charizard in Smash 4. What is wrong with you?
And I won.
Like that's the weird part. What?
I won. I was the best player.
You were playing against Clouds in Alfred State, and you just won with Charizard.
I did. I love that guy.
Moral of the story, you can pick a top tier however much you want, but then you got to deal with the consequences if it does get buffed or if it gets nerfed.
Yeah.
Just pick whatever you want to pick and just figure out the matchups. If it really is that hard, pick a secondary. Wow. Pick a secondary. You know, like pick up a pocket pick or something like that. But like,
or do what Sagem does. Sometimes you just gotta look at the clips and just know what happened.
Realistically speaking,
that's how we did it in Rivals. Sometimes we just looked at this man just doing up smash for Zetterburn, and I died at 30.
It's all right.
That was on me.
That was on me. I died at 30.
That was on me. I'm picking a different stage.
like actually, genuinely, like. I don't know if it was you or somebody else that I played, but I picked Secret. But like they picked Secret Forest in Rivals. And I was playing Arcane, and I killed them at 40 with up air chains, and they immediately banned Secret Forest the next game. That was the first thing they banned.
That was our first tournament.
He banned Secret Forest immediately.
That's when I faced against the Absa player.
Yeah, Akashi.
Yeah, Akashi, yeah. Fuck that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we like him.
I do. He's cool.
He's good people.
Nah, but MSB is better. It don't matter.
Whoa.
Just sucks him off in the corner.
That just cuts off there.
Okay. Just remember, guys. Just do your best. And also, if you really want to, and you just want to be a menace in society, just break a grappler, man. We don't fucking like them guys.
I want y'all to know this is my first time here. I don't condone this buffoonery. I don't condone this. Yes, I play Kanji in Persona 4 Arena, but I don't condone this buffoonery. Anyways, roll the clip.
Roll the clip!